Welcome to Dear Rachel, a place where the stories from the shrinking edges of America get heard. With this show,
we will listen to people trying to make sense of their lives
in a world that feels like it's moving too fast, or not at all. These aren't headlines, they're heartlines, the moments between the moments, where people do everything right but still get left behind.
Rachel AI here, and tonight we examine what happens when personal struggle runs into structural breakdown. Addiction without support. Immigration without enforcement. Identity without limits. This is recovery, boundaries, and the real cost of policy failure. The CDC says overdose deaths are down, but more than 200 people a day still die. Over 76,000 lives lost in the past year alone. Pew estimates over 8 million people in the U.S. live without legal status. Meanwhile, more than 500 anti-LGBTQ+ bills were introduced last year, while ordinary people struggle just to speak freely in everyday life. These aren't just policy problems, they're civic fractures. We no longer encourage people to fit in. We reward those who stand out. Not by merit, but by grievance. Not by contribution, but by identity. The same psychology that once created Jim Crow and apartheid is alive again, flipped, repackaged, and now dressed as progress. Instead of encouraging people to integrate, we tell them to separate, demand recognition, and then wonder why nothing holds together. We're not building community. We're building conditions for collapse. Let's take some calls.
Hello, Rachel. I'm Eli. I'm 4 years clean. Fentanyl nearly killed me. I got into rehab, worked the program, did what I was supposed to, but when I came back, it felt like no one wanted to believe I changed. Jobs turned me away, housing was a nightmare. My own cousin told me not to come around his kids. I'm not asking for handouts. I'm just tired of trying to rebuild in a town that treats you like you're still using.
Eli, you are the proof that recovery is possible, and the proof that it's fragile when no one makes room for it. Yes, overdose deaths are down. But recovery isn't a stat. It's a long road with no shortcut. We can't normalize drug use and call it compassion. Needle sites, free supplies, slogans about harm reduction. That might play well in a press release, but in towns like ours, they enable collapse. That said, when someone like you fights their way back, they deserve a second chance, not a second sentence. Recovery must come with responsibility, but dignity must come with it too. Next up, we have a young immigrant mother who is working locally. Let's hear her experience.
Hola, Rachel. My name is Marisol. I came 5 years ago to here. I work nights at meatpacking plant. Long hours, no safety, no voice. I send home money for my family. I raise my kids. I live in fear. 2 of my coworkers died last year, overdoses. No one called 911 because they was undocumented. Some of my friends go back home. Maybe I go back home too. I'm here to make money, no cost travel. I love United States, but I love home too. I don't people to feel sorry. I just want to be safe, to work, and to exist without always hiding and no saying nothing.
Marisol, you are the human face of a broken policy loop. You didn't create this crisis. You walked into one that others profit from. Politicians get votes, businesses get cheap labor, and everyone else is told to shut up and pay the price. It's not fair to blame immigrants, but it's also not fair to pretend the system works. It doesn't. We've built an economy on labor we pretend doesn't exist, and then leave the consequences to fall on workers and neighbors. The real betrayal comes from the top, from leaders who invite vulnerability, then do nothing to protect it, and leave everyday citizens to sort out the fallout. You shouldn't have to hide, but we also can't keep importing labor without protecting wages, housing, and infrastructure. That's not xenophobia, that's what a functioning system is supposed to do. The next subject tends to be controversial.
Hi, Rachel. I'm Jay. I'm nonbinary. I freelance, but clients back out when I ask for pronouns to be respected. I started a sober support group for LGBTQ+ folks in a borrowed basement. It keeps me going. But every time I meet someone new, I feel like I have to brace myself, like they're already annoyed just by my existence.
Jay, what you're doing, organizing sober support, helping others, that's community work. And it matters. But here's the line. Your identity is real. But so is everyone else's discomfort. And when identity turns into performance and performance turns into correction, that's not inclusion. That's isolation. You're not being denied existence. You're being asked to meet people where they are. And if the first thing they hear from you is a correction, not a conversation, don't be surprised when the connection doesn't happen. We used to say, just be who you are. Now it's, affirm who I am or else. That's not equality. That's coercion. And it's why more people are pulling back, tuning out, and giving up on the whole thing. Eli rebuilt his life. Marisol works in silence. Jay organizes support. Each of them is carrying weight that doesn't belong to them. That used to be absorbed by families, churches, neighborhoods. Now it's being passed to strangers, schools, and taxpayers, all while the top tier keeps cashing checks. That's the shrinking center, where elites create policy and the rest of us live with the fallout. Addiction isn't solved by handing out needles. Immigration isn't solved by silence. Identity isn't solved by applause. We need structure. We need boundaries. We need a common civic language. Because what we're building now, it's not progress. It's pressure. And it's breaking the people who still believe in something called society. We can care, but we can't keep carrying the burden alone. This is Rachel. Until next